What's up, fighting fans? Tips from the Fight IQ channel. Today we're coming back for another episode of the Fight IQ show. And we're gonna talk about last weekend. I'm gonna give you my top 3 of the fights I saw and tell you why they must be watched or rewatched. To make this ranking, I base my opinion on these criteria: the excitement, the duration of the fight, the opposition level, and the way to finish the fight. After that, I will also mention some other fights that might be worth your attention. So let's get ready to rumble! This weekend we had a lot of good fights. I hesitated a long time to make that top 3. I watched the UFC 298 in Anaheim on Saturday 17th, the One Fight Night 19 in Bangkok on Friday 16th, KSW 91 in Czech Republic on Saturday 17th, and the Curiel vs Nontshinga boxing card on Friday 16th. Number 3, Merab vs Henry Cejudo. It was on the UFC 298 main card in Anaheim on Saturday 17th. And what a great fight, guys! I was really surprised with how it started. Both wanted to strike. Merab tried to use some unorthodox moves, spinning kicks for example, something that we're not used to see from him. And maybe that was the point, to surprise Henry Cejudo. And Triple C was really aggressive in his approach. Every strikes were loaded with power and good use of the low kicks too. He even rocked Merab with some of his punches, unbelievable. And that's when Merab decided to take the fight to the ground. He scored a takedown, but he couldn't keep Cejudo there. I really enjoyed those grappling, wrestling exchanges, high level, and Cejudo had the advantage in the first round. He succeeded to keep Merab under pressure for 2 minutes, amazing. But from the second round, Merab completely reversed the dynamic of the fight. Cejudo was growing a bit tired and he couldn't match Merab's speed and volume in the striking department. So he tried to wrestle early in the round, but he couldn't take Dvalishvili down. And he got taken down himself by the Georgian, who showed all of his skills and his power in the wrestling department. He completely dominated the round. So I added 1-1 heading to the third and final round. Merab kept a high pace, too high for Henry Cejudo. He was dominating the striking exchanges, even though Cejudo was still able to connect sometimes. At some point Merab went for the takedown. He lifted Cejudo and carried him across the cage to slam him on the ground. After that, Merab controlled pretty much the rest of the fight. Cejudo tried to take down, but he didn't succeed. Incredible performance from Merab. He clearly deserves to be called the machine. He's relentless and he never gassed out. He dominated Cejudo, who have an incredible resume, so I think it says a lot about him, and I think he clearly deserves a title shot next. O'Malley will have to be careful. Also, it seems like Cejudo is going to retire. He took his gloves off after the fight. And he talked before the fight that he might retire if he cannot stay on top of the division. Number 2, Jonathan Haggerty vs Felipe Lobo. Main event of the One Fight Night 19 in Bangkok on Friday 16th. And it was for the Muay Thai Bantamweight World title. We got fireworks in that one. To be honest, it was not in my preview. I didn't think Lobo would cause Haggerty too much trouble. But damn, I was wrong. Lobo came out really aggressive in the first round. He was willing to bring the fight to the champ and drown him with a lot of volume. But it was not only volume, those were powerful strikes too, and he was targeting the body of Haggerty. The general was not inactive, he also threw nice combinations, but the activity and the accuracy from Lobo really caused him some issues. At the end of round 1, Lobo caught Haggerty in the ropes. He hurt him with body shots, then he continued to the face, and the referee came in to start counting the champ, who was now sitting on the ropes. What a shock it was, guys. And even more shocking is how Haggerty came back after that. Really aggressive, he used a lot of kicks. Lobo tried to replicate, but the general pushed him against the ropes, unleashing everything he had in his arsenal. Punches, elbows, knee, to the head, to the body. He got Lobo wobbled. Lobo was just trying to survive, and when we thought he was starting to come back, Haggerty knocked him down. After that, it was an all-out war. Lobo was really dangerous, even though he was in survival mode. Heavy punches, getting through the guard of Haggerty, and Haggerty was using all of his weapons, including a lot of elbows. I don't even know how they got to the third round. The third round was really more tactical. I guess they both felt that they couldn't win if they were going at it without a plan. And after 40 seconds in the third, Haggerty caught Lobo with a big right overhand and knocked him down. And shout out to Lobo who got up but was really wobbly and the referee decided to stop the fight. I think that was the good decision. He seemed really hurt by Haggerty's power, but he wanted to continue and you got to respect that. Haggerty remains the champ, but he was really tested. He said it himself in the post-fight interview. It was a fight between two great warriors and they were showing what Muay Thai is really about. And number 1, Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilia Topuria, the main event of the UFC 298 in Anaheim on Saturday 17th, and it was for the featherweight championship. Complete surprise on my side, guys. There was so much tension in that fight and both were really cautious in their approach. Volk opted for the sticking and moving, while Topuria was setting the pressure. He looked even like a hunter closing on his prey. He tried to stay close, his guard up, and using his boxing skills and calf kicks. Also, he was ready to explode every time he was seeing an opening. I'd like to say more about this fight, but actually there is not much to say except that Topuria did the perfect fight, using openings given by Volkanovski to punish him. Great fight IQ from Topuria. I also didn't know he had so much power in his hands. He knocked out the champ cold in the second round with a devastating right hook. And he is now the new featherweight champion, also making me shut my mouth in the process. The future is bright for him if he keeps fighting like this with that level of skills without underestimating his opponents like he did this weekend. Tough loss for Volk, even though he still remained classy in defeat. In his post-fight interview, he gave the credit to Topuria. I still have the feeling that he was not 100% focused on the fight during his preparation. I didn't like the fact that he brought Mark Zuckerberg, for example, in his walkout. He asked for a rematch in Spain in Topuria's backyard, who seems pretty okay with it. I hope to see the best version of Volk versus the best version of Topuria next time. Still, incredible performance, completely shocked the world. Congratulations to Ilia Topuria. Some other fights almost made it into my top 3. Whittaker versus Costa, it was a great fight. Both fighters came in a great shape and at their best. Power advantage to Costa, but Whittaker was way more consistent during the whole fight. He was fighting smart and he got the win via unanimous decision. Amanda Lemos versus Mackenzie Dern, awesome fight as well. Here too they gave it all. Lemos has so much power in her hands, good defense on the ground too, but Dern keeps making the same mistakes that she did in her previous fight. She tries to make it a striking match when she definitely has the advantage on the ground thanks to a great BJJ. Lemos won via unanimous decision quite logically. I even think that the fight could have been stopped earlier when Lemos knocked Dern down in the second round. Great performances from Oban Elliott, Anthony Hernandez, Rinya Nakamura, Zhang Mingyang, Danny Barlow and Marcos Rogério de Lima at the UFC 298. I was really disappointed by Geoff Neal versus Gary. I expected way more out of this fight. But Gary chose to keep it safe, using his speed advantage to go in and out, and he won by a decision. At One Fight Night 19, nice performances from Tong Poon, Martina Kierzinska, Hiroyuki Tetsuka and Sama Pech. Great fights between Daniel Williams and Lito Adiwang, and also Luke Lessay versus Eddie Abasolo. KSW 91 was not so good, but I really appreciated the main event though. Mircea got the win via submission. Great fight between Curiel and Nontshinga. Nontshinga got his belt back after knocking Curiel out in the 10th round. He used Curiel's strategy in order to beat him at his own game. That was really awesome, guys. Also, pay attention to Arturo Cardenas, who won his fight on that card also. Great IQ, beautiful movement. I'm pretty sure that we'll hear from him again. So that's it regarding last weekend. If you enjoyed that video, please give a hard punch to those like and subscribe buttons. It helps me a lot. Go hit the comments, Telegram, Discord and Instagram with your thoughts on the last bangers. I'll see you later this week.